So I finally added the collision system. I got this file called bounding box, which contains this AABV struct, which has min and max values, and function called intersects to detect whether two meshes are colliding or overlapping. And since it's a truly simple collision system, it doesn't really, it pretty much ignores physics in real life, such as Newton's laws. And I'm planning to implement this kind of system into my project, but for now, this simple version would do it, because before I didn't even have any collision system at all, and yeah, I guess it's better than nothing. And let me just show you guys the system, how it works. And as you can see, uh, the tunneling just happened, where one of the meshes go through another mesh. In this case, both cubes are go through each other. It's like warping, like kind of jumps between them. So I am but I don't know when if you guys noticed, but when these cubes are colliding, it pretty behaves fine. So the tunneling happens only when both meshes are moving, and I felt the issue was hiding in this function, which resolved the collision, but it wasn't. And this is to check whether meshes have collided. And when when they collided, it would call this resolve collision function. And this check collision function is called in render function in renderer class. So in this function, I set new positions for each mesh. And after I do that, I check collisions. And before that, I update bounding box. So each mesh contains this bounding box, which I showed you. So this update bounding box function just updates min and max values. Min and max values is just min and max values for x, y, and z. Uh, so for x, this would be min and this would be max. And I'm not really sure if, so this would be z, so I think this would be max, and this is min for z, and this is for y. So this function, this code in here, just updates these values so that it could detect whether two meshes have collided. So what does this first line saying is that uh, this, let's say this adder refers to this q. So min dot x is this one is less than max of this other. So this is clear, but another condition has to um, yeah, so for the another condition is to this max has to be greater than this min, and which means they are colliding. Sorry for this crazy line. So when this max is greater than min, I'm just talking about x-axis. So this is clearly overlapping. This equal sign means whenever they're even overlapping is also included. So this one is definitely overlapping. And this goes for y and z as well. The z would be like this, and y would be like this. And so I was just talking about tunneling, right? And so it wasn't none of the function. It wasn't issues from none of these functions. It was from here where I was just setting to specific values rather than uh, gradually incrementing with some values. So if I use plus equals sign, uh, tunneling is pretty much fixed. The I don't know, like it doesn't act like physics in real world, but at least uh, tunneling is not happening, which is good news. Maybe I was seriously having struggling with this issue for a while, and yeah, I really felt the issue was this function because it's related to resolving, but it wasn't. I mean, I had a issue. I had another issue with this function where I have to account for position for each meshes, where I have to, when A is on the left of B, I have to move A left and B right. If I do opposite, the tunneling also happens. And this one is also like the same thing. So yeah, so this is it for the collision system, I guess. I'm really glad that, you know, I have implemented very basic collision system so that I can move on to the next task. And this is really trivial, but I again cleaned up my folder hierarchy. Like I grouped rendering stuff into this graphics folder. Yeah, I just cleaned up. I wasn't really fond of making folders, but I'm planning to make files related to AI later. So, and I added files related to physics, and with these files related to graphics, they all mixed up. It just makes my mind really, I don't know, cluttered. So I need to clear my mindset as well. So I also extracted all the files from source folder. I used to have a folder called source where I put all the files inside it, but I just removed it. Yeah, and so I think for the next plan would be start working on implementing AI, because this is obviously AI devlog. But before that, I wanted to just, at least set basic graphics stuff. And I think this is, I mean, there are lots of other stuff I could do, but I think this is enough for what I like to do with AI. I think for So I think this is it for today's video, and thanks for sticking to the end of the video, and thanks for all the supports, and see you next time. Thanks.